I really was ruled by this idea that decisions you would make are life or death. They're not. Like, very few are. Like, unless you are cool, the cardiac surgeon who's like, oops, I made a mistake in a heart surgery. Very few decisions are irrevocable or life or death. So that's kind of what helped me get through entrepreneurship, knowing that I got to try it, I'll figure it out, and it might not be the perfect decision, but the best entrepreneurs make it work.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another episode of Style for Success, Dress Like a Boss. Today I have a very special guest with me, another Canadian sister in the house. So let's all give a huge welcome to Tanya Sam.
Hello, how are you all? So nice to see you here. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so happy to have you.
I'm so happy to be here. This has been a sisterhood in the making.
Yes. I was just telling Umi how we met. I'm like, we have our mutual friend Shanae.
Yes.
And then I don't even remember from there. I just remember we were at a restaurant and you're like, on my money. And I'm just like, hey girl, because we have been talking in like DMs and stuff prior to that.
I mean, it's so funny because people talk about social media, and I actually just learned this term called parasocial friendships, which is like the friendships that are formed on social media, whether you actually know a person or not. But it was literally a slide in the DM, like, I think you're Canadian, I'm Canadian too, we have mutual friends, and voila.
Literally. And I have to say, before we jump into all of the questions, whatnot, Tanya is one of the nicest people I've ever met. Like, her energy is infectious. Like, every time you see her, like, from the first time, it was just a big smile. And, like, I had to tell my husband, I was like, I just met, Tanya, and she was so sweet. She's friends with Shanae, and your energy was just amazing. And even when I went to your event, like, I just felt like, even though we hadn't had so many conversations or sat down, even though we've talked about Ghanaian jollof rice and Nigerian jollof rice, which we'll leave that.
We will keep that friendship intact.
Exactly, we'll leave that alone. But your energy was just, you make everyone feel comfortable, right?
Thank you.
And her fashion game, yes, we love.
First of all, I think it's in our genes, because Africans, we know how to dress.
We sure do.
And we get it from our parents, it's like in our genes. Yeah. And then Canadians, we add a little bit of style on top of that. And then here we are, like these transplants in the 404. So all that synergy just went into the, like, this is so easy.
I know, right? And I love it. Yay.
So easy.
Thank you for being here. So I'm not going to just rant and go on a tangent because I love to talk, and we all know this. So I'm just going to go straight to the questions. I'm going to let you tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll jump right into everything else.
Okay, so I'm going to start at the beginning. I'll give you a little bit of history because I feel like this is a nice get-to-know thing. Born and raised in Toronto, Canada. My dad is from Ghana. My mom was from England, so grew up like in Toronto. Shout out to the 416.
Hey.
And then, grew up. My dad was a doctor, went to school, and went to McGill, and then U of T, and was a nurse. And like, I love taking care of people. I love nursing. And then I ended up moving to New York. So I was part of that sort of brain drain. I was like, let me just step out on my own, move to New York. I loved New York. I had so many fabulous friends that I still have there. And it was just sort of layers of, finding myself, exploring myself. Totally thought I'd be a nurse forever. And I spent about 6 years there and then moved to Atlanta where I met my partner who was in tech and entrepreneurship. So that's sort of how I made that segue from nursing to entrepreneurship. And people ask me this question all the time, and I know we're talking about bossing up and being, a female boss or whatever you call yourself. But for me, it was really interesting because I came from a very nursing background. I have like very deep friendships with nurses, and that was the type of place where it was about nurture and care. Like if you had a bad day, your girls would be like, let's go to the med room and have a good cry. Right? And so I always loved, like, I am that person where you want to have a cry, and I think a lot of that came from working in oncology. And then I was thrown into this tech world where there wasn't as many men. My mentors were my partner at the time, and it was very like, you're smart, you can do it. It wasn't a lot of cuddles, it was just like, get the job done, and that was really hard for me. I didn't have a PhD in computer science, but I had people who would always be like, you're smart, get it done. Figure it out. Done is better than perfect.
I hope you guys are listening to that. You're smart, get it done.
Get it done.
We were talking about problem shooting, and I'm finding that my kids just want everything to be done for them. And I'm like, no, that's not how life works. You have to figure it out, and you have to problem shoot.
Yes. And I think with that too, I look back with a lot of hindsight now, because growing up in nursing, especially oncology, I really was ruled by this idea that decisions you would make are life or death. They're not. Like, very few are. Unless you are cool, the cardiac surgeon who's like, oops, I made a mistake in a heart surgery. Very few decisions are irrevocable or life or death. So that's kind of what helped me get through entrepreneurship, knowing that I got to try it, I'll figure it out, and it might not be the perfect decision, but the best entrepreneurs make it work.
Oh, this is so good already, and this is just getting to know her.
But that was really important to me, because I was like, fear holds a lot of people back, and so they want it to be perfect. Or especially for women, we'd be like, oh, I'll get another degree, or I'll take more courses. Just do it.
Yes.
Figure it out. Start your YouTube channel.
Right.
Like, launch your jewelry thing, and if nobody loves the jewelry, you'll find the people that will love your jewelry. And it's a lot of that trial and error. So that's how I really got into tech. And at that time, it was me, my partner, his co-founder, and we were just, I was figuring out, they'd be like, can you help with marketing? Can you help with operations? Can you help with sales? And I'd be like, okay, let me figure this out. I'd be like putting up a booth at a conference, like talking about the product. And so when people want to make these shifts in their career, I really implore them to, like, there's so many ways to get into tech, entrepreneurship, and you don't have to have the PhD.
Yeah.
Like, Facebook's marketing was their success, right? And so if you can talk about something and love something, you're a marketer.
Literally, that's what it is. It's all about picking something and honing in, and you can do anything. I was talking to someone else in the series too, who's a doctor, and she's done whatever she does, she's successful at it, because the same concept, the same idea, whatever you do, do it well.
Do it well.
Do it well. Do your research, pay attention, and just move forward with it. And fear, fear.
The fear part. I mean, I feel like, I say my age now. I just turned.
So do I.
I do. I just turned 44.
You're a few months older than me. I'm almost there. 43.
But I'm so proud of it now. I've learned so much, because I can see how these things. Hello.
Yes.
Hello. And you know what? That's not without work. Like, I work out. I want to do all my skin prep and stuff. So I tell people and I share.
Yes.
That said, the lessons that I've learned, I think I'm so grateful for, and I share them very candidly, because I wish I knew some of these things in my 20s.
Yes.
That I don't know. I don't think that it's not that people didn't talk about them, but it's just maybe our parents' generation, they didn't know.
I feel like they didn't know better, especially having African parents.
Yes.
Like, the mindset was very one way.
Yeah.
It's like school, everything else doesn't matter.
Yes.
Nothing else matters. Just go to school, make money, be a lawyer, doctor, what kind of deal. So I think they just never stopped to really take care of themselves and enjoy life.
Yes, and totally different, because I feel like this is why we can vibe. Like, growing up in Canada, like, my dad went to Canada on a med school scholarship. So he was like the oldest of 13 that were back in Ghana. And he was like, look, you just gotta go to work, put your head down, I'm sending money home. And now they've given us this life where we have a bit more freedom. Like, they were like, you're gonna be a doctor for the rest. My dad, they had to rip him out of practicing.
Aww.
Because he was just like, you pick a career. We can do all things through all different stages of life now. And it's because I think of our parents who have given us this ability to do different things and try different things. I'm super grateful for that.
Absolutely. Every day I'm so grateful for them, even though I'm sure, like, half the time they're like thinking, you're not grateful, but I really am.
Well,
we are. And I felt like for the longest time it was like, I could just hear them like, when are you going to use your degrees for something?
I know.
I
know.
And because at first they're like, what are you doing? You're a blogger? What is that?
You also started blogging like early days.
I know.
People were probably like, especially in African, my daughter, she talks to people.
she takes pictures on the internet.
What is this blogging, right? Like, I'm sure.
Girl, it took them a minute, but now my mom's always so proud when I don't post.
Of course.
She's like, what's wrong? You haven't posted anything yet. Are you okay?
People will think, right?
Literally.
And like, but this is also, so, and this is where I'll wrap up a little bit more about me. So I was in tech in Atlanta, and at this point we'd started Tech Square Labs, which was an innovation center, because I also recognized I wanted to create more spaces where women, underrepresented founders like myself could come and build businesses. And this was like before there was WeWorks. This was before, so we're talking like 2012, 13, and I started like going. I learned so much because I was fortunate. I had like a boyfriend at the time who was teaching me everything. I was working alongside. How do I do that for more people? So started accelerator programs, started helping people in the community that wanted to raise money, find access to capital, and like learn. And so that was a journey in and of itself. And somewhere in along there, someone approached me and was like, "Do you want to be on Housewives?" Which it was also super interesting because I was traveling. I was spending time in San Francisco, all over. And like, if y'all know Housewives, people who love Housewives love it and are like rabid fans all over the world. So I'd be like in a board meeting and someone would be like, "You're black. You look like you have a little bit of money. Do you know the Housewives?"
Are you serious?
All the time. Like from so many different socioeconomic groups, class, this, white, black, they'd be like, "Do you know Nene Leakes? Do you know this person?" Because people love Housewives.
Yeah.
And so for me, I'd be like, there's all these circles in Atlanta. And I was like, well, imagine showing a different side. And for different side, I just meant like, I was working in tech. They hadn't seen that on the show. Maybe it'll resonate with certain people. And so
getting your message out there, being able to help more people that way, because the Housewives is a huge platform. It's a huge platform. And let me just say this. You carried yourself so well. I was so proud of my Canadian sister. Not I won't even say the name, but not the other girl, but you. Because the other girl too, Shanae knew her too, and she tried to, and I was just like, I don't know. But I was so proud of you because we met before that. And seeing you and the way you carried yourself, I was just like, yes, that is how we are.
And I always look back at that.
Yeah,
and I was like, the best advice I ever got was like, be yourself.
Yes.
And I was really confused by that because like, what does be yourself mean? For someone, and I get it now because kind of like really what you see is what you get. And people be like, that girl is like, I got called everything from quirky this, oh, it made sense when I was Canadian or something.
I get that a lot here too.
Yes.
When people are like, don't go there, or don't, you're Canadian so you won't get it, or the way I talk. And I've even had people on YouTube are like, why are you talking like that?
This is a whole segment.
This is how,
this is a whole
literally,
segment.
I'm like, how does a Canadian Nigerian talk? Like, it was just, it's always so weird the way people just assume how people should be. And I'm like, no, it's not necessarily like that.
Yes.
And I love the fact that you were true to who you were. You were nice, you were gracious, you rose above the nonsense. And kudos to you, because I'm like, you made us proud.
That feels really good. No, I appreciate it.
No, honestly, I always say it, I'm like, the good one, the good one on the show. And I think you leaving when you left too, I thought it was perfect. I thought everything was perfect.
Oh my gosh,
you represented
so
yourself
sweet.
so well, and you were able to get your business in front of so many people. And that's how people can be helped in this tech space, because the reality of it is that we're moving into more of a technological society.
Yes.
So I feel like the more women of color that are in this space, the better, because we can ask for better rates. We can be in front of more companies. We can make our own
we have
companies.
more strength in that. We have more power in that strength and the camaraderie of it, right? And I think, people, and it really is meaningful to me. I would get messages, or people would stop me, and they'd say, "Thank you for showing me a little piece of myself on TV," right? Thank you. I work in tech, and there's maybe 3 black women in this company, and it really resonates that I saw myself on these characters that were, on the lives of like black women that were so globalized across the whole entire world. And like, that means a lot to me. And I appreciate it. And then it opens up conversations of like, well, how you did it. And like, really and truly, when people talk about representation now, and I really try to work to help, have these open conversations about how to be a boss, how to start your business, whether it's just like giving someone the push of strength or encouragement, or being able to fund businesses through like being an angel investor or a VC. Like, technology, software, and all this is taking over our whole society. No matter what, whether it's fashion, you need to know a little bit of it. And I think that
I even though my dad's a computer engineer, you know how Nigerians are.
Yes.
Electronic engineer and a computer engineer. My sister's, she's VP in Canadian Tire.
Oh my God!
I know. She's the next one I'm trying to get on. I can't even get her to
sister
throw me a few like
That's
lines.
huge.
Yeah. And then my brother, like everyone's in tech in my family, with the exception of me. So, but doing this pushed me to learn a little bit about code and pushed me to learn how to figure out my websites. Like I deleted my website like twice.
Wow.
Yeah, and I had to figure it out. No, not on purpose.
Okay, I was like,
no, not on purpose. But then her husband's also a developer, so it, but it's nice to have that around because like fashion has shifted.
Yeah.
There were so many brands that had no e-commerce, had nothing for years after the business took off.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like that's another conversation. Ooh, that could be another series.
I also love that, and just
Fashion
even talking about your sister, like I'm so fascinated by, she's a VP at like a huge corporation in Canada. Like I always want to know those stories of like how you got there. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's not that sexy. She was like, I mean, I don't know. Did she start like I worked at Canadian Tire, like stocking shelves, or like I was I don't know.
Well, it's funny. Her story is a little funny because she. Center Island. I know. Well, Danny Leather. I got her job at Danny Leather.
I love Danny Leather. Oh my gosh, you're bringing everything back. Danny Leather when we were growing up was
that was the.
And they were probably like the price point is I can't even get like maybe about $400 or $500.
Yeah.
It was expensive at the time.
Yeah, it's very expensive. We
but
were like
you
we felt like very.
I still had like a couple of these jackets.
I have one left, and I have some of my skirts. I have some of my pieces.
Oh.
Yeah. But she worked for them. I got her the job, and she became manager of one of the stores. Yeah, that's what
we're having a catch-up.
I know, we're having a catch-up moment. Sorry,
guys. Did you ever work at the one on St. Clair?
No, I worked at Eaton Center. Yeah. So I worked there. She ended up, because they were two stores, she ended up managing the one upstairs, and then she ended up managing Center Island. So she's one of those people that has that, initiative to just take over. So she worked for Exxon. She actually created the customer service interface for Saks. Like, her resume is long, but she's one of those people that she knows how to put herself forward and just gets it done. And then during the 2020, during the whole Black Lives Matter thing, she really excelled, and she did such a great job of keeping Canadian Tire afloat.
Wow.
Yeah. So she's pretty.
We digress.
I know we digress. Sorry. I know we can talk. We can talk. We have to have like a separate time.
Yes.
We can just catch up and everything. So let's jump into the questions. This is gonna be so long. Okay. So first question. What has been your career journey, and how did fashion play into that journey?
Okay, well, I feel like I answered some of the career journey.
Yeah.
However, fashion, I think for me, it's funny because I always came from a family of like fashion people. Mm-hmm. And take that how you may, it didn't always mean like super high end. Sometimes it did. Like I can remember my dad having this like Burberry trench coat back in like the 80s or 90s, and like my parents would throw really great parties. And my dad, being an African, he was never like the golf shirt. He was always suit, tie, this. So we always loved fashion and to dress. And then I found I was in nursing, and it was like you wore scrubs all the time. So when I wasn't in scrubs, I actually really wanted to feel like I was dressing up. And I just explore fun things. I am certainly high-low. And so I wore this today because I figured you would appreciate this. This is an H&M collaboration with Kenzo and H&M back in the day. Yes, so it's like completely brings in like Japanese vibes, but it's H&M, these great collabs. Paired it with a pair of like Chanel army boots. So I love some high-low. I love my Zaras. I love being able to like find those finds that people will stop you on the street and be like, where's that from? I'm like, let me tell you. And I will always tell you where I get my stuff from.
Absolutely. I think when you have true and great style, you can make anything work. And I say this all the time. You do not have to be decked out in designer clothes from head to toe. It's just pointless, really. Yeah. Fashion is about personal style, and it's an extension of you. Like, this is just fun, it's happy, it's stylish. And for me, this is like the perfect extension of you. I love it.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go to the next question. How would you describe your style for your body type?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I will say, because I've already dropped my age on here, I'm actually working on, I feel the hardest part that I struggle with is my curves. Because I feel like I know how to dress, but then every once in a while people will be like, I had no idea you had those curves. And I don't know where that came from. I kind of surprised myself. Someone told me I was very conservative.
I think it's because you don't wear all the fitted body hugging things. Yeah, because I've gotten that. People are like, you're so much smaller than I thought you were.
Yes.
Because I don't wear super fitted clothes.
And maybe also Atlanta's a fitted place, like so I'm trying to explore that a little bit. Like
I love how she said it's a fitted place. You have to live here to understand that.
Yes, right? And so I am trying to explore a little bit more of that. But also, I don't know how to answer that even better. I get it. I also get my body. It took me time to get my body. I know what I like on myself, and so I can sort of picture different cuts. Now, there's certain styles that I would always love to be. There's a part of me that wishes I had this like super wafy, no curve style where I could wear these like dark goth, like Japanese Tokyo sort of, that really high fashion.
Yes.
Those will never work on my body, but like I would like to delve into like other style areas like that where I could just be another person, because I think fashion also allows you to like transform yourself.
That part.
Depending on the day, I am totally dressing to be a different person sometimes.
Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah.
And that is how I see fashion. It's my mood.
Yes.
Some days I will wake up and I want to be absolutely fabulous. Some days I want to be borderline classic goth.
Yes.
Some days I just want to be, in sweatshirts. But always elevated.
Now I'm loving the trend from COVID that is still carried over of like fly leisure, I call it.
I love
Whether
it.
it's leggings and joggers and this, like the comfort factor that I get from that is unparalleled.
And we love that. And we love that. Okay, so the next question, what was your most ridiculous buy?
Oh, my most ridiculous.
Oh, what did you get?
Okay, this is actually my most ridiculous, but my favorite. So way back when, Ashley Graham wore a dress to the Grammys, and they did this. It was this website called Charity Buzz, where they were auctioning off Grammy dresses. I don't know why people don't do this all the time, but it was made by these like incredible designers, and I basically was so obsessed with this dress that I bid and bid and bid and bought it. It is phenomenal. It fits.
Now I want to see there. You have to send a picture. We're going to insert the picture.
I've never worn it. I'm saving it for something because it's got a train and all this ruching and like
you gotta do a photo shoot.
No, because I also feel like, and this is where social media is weird, I need to wear it to something amazing. So maybe my turn at the Grammys or my turn somewhere. Manifest.
Yeah. Let's put it out there.
Winning something. Because if I put it already on my social,
I know.
So that's why I call it my most ridiculous buy, because it was years ago and it's still sitting in my closet, like waiting to be worn.
And that moment's coming. Moment's coming.
And
when I see it, I'll be like, yes,
green
girl.
and red and this.
Oh.
But I also feel like it's something really special because it supported this independent designer too. That's definitely my most ridiculous buy, because I also am the type of person, I wear everything I buy.
Good.
I probably have maybe 5 to 10 items in my closet, which is kind of extensive, that I've never worn, and they were just like silly bad purchases. But I really wear everything I buy. I buy stuff to wear it, and I buy stuff to wear it over and over.
Good, and that's how we should shop.
Yes.
I'm trying this new thing this year where I am shopping my closet more, and also because of what I do, I find that I'm constantly I want new, but my challenge is now not to be dependent on the new, but actually look at what I have. So even with Fashion Week, I'm bringing old pieces with me, so I'm so proud of myself.
Yes, no,
I'm so proud of myself. All right, so the next question, talk to me about your leadership skills and what would you wear to an important meeting?
Ooh, leadership skills. I am working on these all the time. Like, I think that leadership is the key to help building a team, being effective, and advancing your own career, but that of others. And so that's really something important to me. And I'm grateful to people who I have watched become really great leaders. And I think that involves like emotional EQ, like understanding the needs of what the goals are of your team, whether it's for your own business or just helping people to get where they are. Because, people that work for you, people that come through, they have their own goals and stuff too.
Absolutely.
And so being able to like foster those, I think is really key. And then your second question was, what do I wear? So I feel this is a great question, especially for me, because I worked in a very, in the early days of tech and stuff, it was a bit more male dominated. We see a bit more. And like, again, I just like to wear my closet. So I've never really shied away from dressing for an environment. It's like, I want to get up, and I do feel like it's my superpower. Like if I put on a Gucci dress, it's literally like a cape. especially if you have imposter syndrome or you know you need to go and crush it. Like, those are my superpower capes. And so I'm going to wear them. But I think you also have to be able to read a room.
Yes.
And so I always err on the side of professionalism for the room that you're going into. And that, you know, people can call that all different things. But I need to make sure that people also take me seriously, but I feel serious.
Yeah. I agree. I think it's finding that balance and knowing the space you're going to be in that makes a world of a difference, because let's be honest, people do make first impressions, right? So what we wear is extremely important. So yes, I love that.
And I will always say, if you don't have one, invest in a good suit. You can never I'm always team overdressed. And you can put a cool t-shirt under a suit nowadays. You can wear running shoes. But if you have one, I mean good suit that you got altered, tailored, you find someone who knows where the cuff length should be, where the length that hits your waist, do it. You will never regret that buy.
I agree. What was your first suit? I know this is a random one.
J. Crew. For sure. It was some J. Crew, maybe Banana Republic. And then I spent some time in like 2000, and I remember this. It was I just finished nursing school in Thailand, and they are like all about custom tailoring there, and I had a whole Chanel knockoff suit made in Thailand. I mean, it was tweed. I should say it wasn't a knockoff because I just picked tweed fabric, but it was totally like, I mean, it was so old lady bizarre, but I just thought this was going to be everything. I think it was around the time like Gossip Girl was in too.
And then too, that was the look. Like, are you kidding me? Chanel tweed, like,
yes,
that was everything.
And I remember going into like a nursing job interview in this like fabulous Chanel suit. That was probably not reading the room, but anyways, I got the job.
There you go. There you go. Then you read the room. I love it. All right, so the next question: what does a casual day look like for you, and what would you wear on a Friday?
I love casual days because I think most of us have this work from home, in and out of the office sort of lifestyle. So casual days for me, I'm loving my either leggings or sweats. So I have this collection of sweatpants right now, but that I jazz up with either a heel or a cool boot. I love a hoodie. I'm really into, should I say brands on here?
Yeah, you can.
I love Aloe Yoga. I need to stop buying Aloe Yoga.
I think I might have their PR contact. I'm like,
oh my god.
They not recently, but they used to send me a lot of stuff like randomly.
Insane.
Yeah,
I deserve stock. Like, it's silly. And then every once in a while, like I just went to Target the other day and I found like a great collection of like leggings, long sleeves that were super good. So that's my casual day. Friday's great because I kind of like to do that in between athleisure that can take you to like happy hour drinks. So I mean, I just had like a crazy Gucci like block heel with a jogger, you know, and like sunglasses and like a cute little vest.
I love that. I can totally see that. And the weather in Atlanta, this is like cheat weather.
I know.
It's so bad because it's hot.
It's hot.
In the winter.
Oh, it's very, very warm. But then it'll go like 30 degrees at night, so you just don't know.
Yeah, and I'm like, I can't even really dress properly, so I'm just like, can we just have winter weather?
I know.
I feel like that's where I'm at. I'm like, I just want winter weather.
And I will say, like, being Canadian, that I love Four Seasons because I love fabulous coats. Like fabulous overcoats and stuff. Like, it's a whole look in and of itself. Yeah. So I kind of miss that. And I have tons that are just sitting in the closet that will never see the light of day until you go to New York or Fashion Week and you pull them all out. It's a different story.
I have my Canada Goose, like my very first one still. I still have it. It's such a good coat. But now I have these Macaj coats and some other ones I'm just like, what am I gonna wear?
I love Macaj. I have like 2 coats that are my favorite coats forever. Yeah.
I love it. All right, so question number 6. What are your go-to pair of shoes, and how do they make you feel when you wear them?
My go-to shoes, definitely my Gucci slides. I avoided trying to buy those ones. The Gucci slides that have like the fur.
Those Princeton ones.
Yeah, the Princeton loafers. I have several pairs of those, and I never would have thought it was like, these are granny. I wear them all the time.
I have my one pair sitting in. I think I might have got 2. One burgundy, and then I got a pair in damask.
Oh, that is special.
Yeah, I'll show you them after they're
Tune in for the outtakes.
I know, right?
Because I definitely want to see that. Love those. And let's see, my Chanel boots. I'm not a running shoe person, but I've recently sort of gotten into like super cute runners.
I just started doing Nike Jordans.
Yes.
I'm obsessed.
No,
I went from 0 to 60 like real quick.
I feel the same way. I only have, well, one of the things that really sort of put me over the edge was there is this, a Ghanaian guy who did a collaboration with Nike, and they made these Ghanaian little Accra Nike dunks. So I bought those, and when I wear them, I can't tell you how many people stop me and are like, Charlie, what are those? Like, their minds are blown.
I love it,
Charlie. So, for me, it's really weird because I always thought I was a shoe girl, and like I have never received compliments on shoes like the running shoe and sneaker crew people.
I didn't realize
oh my God.
So I bought two during my No Shop January, and I shared it on my stories, and the amount of people were like, oh, I bought these because of you, or I have those already.
Yes.
Or, it was insane. I was just like, I did not realize. And when I
was shocked.
When I do content that has everyone's like, I love that look with the sneakers, or I love the dunks, and I'm just like, wow.
And I kind of appreciate it because price point, they're like under 200 typically.
Yes.
And then I'll go and spend like a Gucci sneaker or those Loewe ones that everyone's wearing, and I'm like, or I could just get these Nikes.
That's the thing. My first pair of Nikes, I didn't know how inexpensive they were.
Yeah.
I bought it from, I think, either Farfetch or Net-a-Porter.
Yeah.
It was almost $400. There's a whole resale market for this stuff, which I had no idea.
Oh, it's crazy.
So I just automatically assumed that was the price point. So when my son was like, Mommy, I want Nikes, so I take him to the store, and I see the price, I'm like, huh?
Okay. Isn't it weird how fashion will skew with your mind like that?
It really does.
Yep.
My friends tell me all the time, you're so jaded. Especially back in the day when I was younger, I'd be like, oh, $500, that's so cheap. Now that I have a family and I have a different perspective on life, I'm like, no, that's not cheap, but it's just, fashion will always skew, especially because I always worked in luxury retail.
Well, I will tell you, I had this conversation the other day about growing up and the price of jeans, right? And so like when we were growing up, the expensive jeans were like silver jeans or something, and they were like $150, right?
Yeah.
And that was a lot of money because you could also get like the 1999 jeans or whatever. So like that was big. And then now you're like, oh, I just bought a pair of jeans for $900.
Yeah, girl.
It's just, and it is crazy. And so sometimes, at some point, you're like, what am I doing? Okay, how do I rationalize this? And I don't know, you get on that hamster wheel of.
Yeah, I do have one pair that's, it's, what pair is it? What brand is it? My Margiela jeans.
Yeah.
They're expensive, but I have a lot of jeans, but that is the only pair I wear.
Yeah, isn't that funny?
I wear it religiously.
Yeah.
Like, if anything were to happen to those, I would buy them back.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
What would you try and buy back?
Yeah. Yeah, that is a good question. Ooh,
Because there's certain things where I'd be like,
yeah, I would buy that back.
Yeah, that is like a staple piece.
I've never had a pair of jeans or trousers that fit as well as.
Wow.
Yeah, I could say that.
Oh, I'm gonna have to look them up.
Yeah, I'll send you the link. Okay, so real quick, now that we're talking about shoes and we know the shoes, but can we have a moment for the bag? I know there's no bag question, but you guys have to see Tanya's bag.
So I brought this bag today. This is, Chanel, I think this is a double flap, but what I loved about it was this silver metal chain. And I got it in Paris, so it always feels so special when you're actually like in Paris, shopping at Chanel, feeling like you are Emily in Paris or whatever the case is. But the chain edging was really great, and I just love it. And it's, here's my other thing about like expensive bags. I wear my bags. I take good care of them. But like this bag will like move around with me. I think I've been wearing it for like a couple weeks straight. I'll love it, I'll get obsessed, and then I'll move stuff to another bag, and then it's my new obsession for the next couple weeks. But love this bag.
It's such a statement.
It's got tons of stuff in it, and it's just easy. So it goes with my joggers, or it goes with my funky dress today.
I love it. And gray is such a great complementary color, so this is just excellent.
And
this will look good with my new boots. I'm sorry.
Right? But it also is, sometimes I have to push I would not have picked this, to be honest with you. I had to like push myself to I tend to buy a lot of the same stuff. So sometimes I have to step outside and be like, Tanya, you have 10 things that look like that, do something different. That's what this was, and I proved myself right or wrong.
And you know what? Different is good because this is an excellent purchase.
Yeah.
It has longevity, it stands out. I love it.
Wait, thank you.
I love it. All right. Next question. Your go-to, technically, I said your go-to bag, so we know that's the go-to
Well,
bag
I will
right
add
now.
you another. I typically carry either a purse or a laptop bag because I always have my laptop with me. So it has to, like, that's how I shop. It's either super small or it can fit a laptop, like pens, a planner, all that. So I love any of the Dior totes. I love the Fendi totes that will fit that. Anything like that is my jam.
Perfect, I love it. I am a strong advocate for the Dior book tote.
I
had a
am
whole
too.
video about it. I just think it's the
I saw it.
best work.
Yeah,
Isn't
it is the best because it's not that heavy.
Right?
It is so good, and you can go to like the beach or this. My sister's going on vacation. She was like, "Can I borrow bags?" I was like, "Yeah."
I love
and she was
it.
like, "Can I take this to the beach?" Because she took one of the Dior totes, and I was like, "Of course you can."
I love it.
Really?
You're the best sister. I'd be like, no, don't put my back against the water.
I know more than that. I was like, my sister also has 2 twin babies and a 3-year-old, so I was like, I'm less worried about you taking this bag to the beach than your kids like puking in it or something.
Right,
so I was
right.
like, go have fun.
There you go. I love it. I love it. Okay, so that pretty much answers question 7. So question 8, what are your closet staples and where would you wear them to?
Ooh, closet staples. I love leather pants. I love, like, Alice and Olivia has the best leather pants ever. They are timeless, they last forever, the waist goes to the right point, and like when you buy leather leggings or pants, I always feel like they have seams in them at weird places. I love Alice and Olivia.
They have the 2 panels.
Yes, well, usually the panel will either be at some weird place on the knee and it's a full leg thing. Really hard to come by.
Hey, well, I worked for Tanya, so I could say having a full panel of leather, that's impressive.
It is. And they also have like a vegan leather one, so I love a leather legging. I love cardigans. So I think some of my staples, I collect like really funky cardigans, and I remember you came to that event, and I was like, I need that. Because I just throw them on over everything, and I think it doesn't matter if you're wearing leather leggings, normal leggings, you can throw on a cardigan and it's like just ups your game super easy.
I love it. And you can wear them all year round.
I wear them all the time. Yeah.
I love that. Okay. So the next question. This is where we have the follower question.
Advice you would give to a young woman looking to break into tech, coming from either a retail or customer service background?
Oh, I love this. Okay, advice I would give to a young woman looking to break into tech, coming from a retail or customer service. I actually think you are perfectly groomed and prepared for success. So it's really funny. Do you ever go to the mall and you see those folks who are selling like Dead Sea products that are super persistent, but they know their stuff? Sales. So for young people who are looking to break into tech or any industry, and I will backtrack and say that technology is everywhere. Like every company that is coming up right now is a technology enabled company. So sometimes people get very pigeonholed into like, I only want to work at Facebook or Google or this, but Canadian Tire is a tech company. So find something that you're passionate about that you can sell and do sales. So look for an entry level job in sales. And I think about when I was at Pindrop, and basically Pindrop, this was, Paul and BJ were starting this company. It was his PhD research. So basically, it was 176 different algorithms that computed, that basically helped to fight fraud in large volume call centers, banking institutions, because it would take the acoustical fingerprints of a phone call, whether it was a Skype call, landline, this, and be able to, in exactly like 2.8 seconds, give you a fingerprint. And they use that and made a commercialized application for it. So I could go into much more geeky detail about it because I just learned the white paper. Anybody can learn the white paper. You can learn to sell skin cream. You can learn to sell like the technology components of a product that's going to be sold to Microsoft, etc. You can do that. And if you can sell, you can do anything. And let me tell you, salespeople make all the money.
I agree.
They make all the money. When I heard like the bonuses, I was like, that's your bonus? Sales.
Yeah, I 100%. 100%.
Sales.
All right, so we've got one more question. What would your advice be for someone who works in your field or in the corporate world that wants to elevate their style or wants their style to match their career path?
I mean, dress for success. Fake it till you make it. That's it. And you have to be able to take stock of those around you. I have great mentors and women that I look up to that some of them I do know and some of them I don't. Like, you know, you don't always have to have the person that you can pick up the phone and have the mentor, but I'm like, how did you do this? Look at their LinkedIn, follow their social, look at what they're wearing to get to the places that they do, right? And it's a bit of mimicking. Flattery is the best form, imitation is the best form of flattery, but just see how they got there. Are they, you know, fit? What are they doing? You know, where do they go to have lunch? That kind of plays off in a little bit of things. So, and you know, you don't always have to have the super high-end expensive fashion, but like I said, you get yourself a good suit, you start to fit into that room, you know, if you want to be on boards, if you want to start volunteering at like your local nonprofit so that you can be around those folks, you really got to follow the roadmap.
Excellent. Oh, we could go on forever because you are a wealth of knowledge, and I could see how you've married your, you know, nursing career with what you're doing now, because it's all about nurturing people, and you're so giving. No, you really are. And it's a breath of fresh air, because there are not a lot of women like you out there. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
Kudos
Thank
to
you
you.
so much. This was so good. This was
Right?
like the best girlfriend chat. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you. Just thank you so much for doing this. I really, really, really appreciate it. And I hope you guys took notes, because Tanya was just dropping all the gems. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Make sure you follow. What are your handles?
It's Tanya Time on Instagram. Follow me. I'd love it. You can follow me on Facebook, mostly on Instagram. Or if you're interested in books, you can follow the Tanya Time Book Club. We are always dropping new books, so would love to see and connect with you there.
Perfect. And I will have all of Tanya's handles in the description box, so definitely check the description box out. If you guys are not following me on Instagram, make sure you follow me. It's Odd by Monty on Instagram, TikTok, and check out my website, oddbymonica.com. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.
See you.